Hello everyone, this is the Sliders Review, and I wanted to share with you a little something that many of you might not know. If you haven't read this online, or if you don't have the very first dual season, first two seasons of Sliders, then you might not have heard this in the audio commentary because it's no longer available in the newer DVDs. The co-creators of Sliders, Tracy Torme and Robert K. Wise, once revealed that John Rhys-Davies wasn't the first professor. Oh no. The producers of and the creators of that show, they first had in mind a different actor, and this different actor actually landed the role of Professor Arturo. But then he later backed out before the pilot was ever shot, because for those who don't know, the first two seasons were filmed in Canada. And Canada is a very cold place. And the reason why an American show is filmed in Canada is because it's cheaper there. Just like sometimes when they film in New Zealand. And that actor is none other than Hector Elizondo. I probably butchered his last name. I butcher everybody's name. Yes, the actor from Pretty Woman, the actor from Last Man Standing. He was gonna be Professor Arturo. Now, I've only seen this guy act in two things. Last Man Standing in one episode and Pretty Woman. I've never really watched him in anything else, but I have heard his voice in voice acting before. And honestly, I do think he's a really good actor, and he would have brought like a different vibe to the professor. But I don't know if he will be able to nail who is Professor Maximillian Arturo. There's something just about John Rhys-Davies with that British voice, that Shakespearean acting vibe of his, that just command dominance over that role. I really don't see Hector saying "you blistering idiot" like the way like John does it, you know? Maybe Hector would have nailed the role, maybe not. I don't really know, but it would have been interesting to see. And also, he would have brought more diversity to that show, because let's face it, Sliders was pretty white. They only had two main black stars on that show. The second black star on that show didn't even show up until the very last season. So yeah, I mean, well, when it comes to say like John, the only diversity he really brought was from he's from another country, and because of his size, which I like. I like the look of the cast of Sliders. I like how they look like real people and not your typical supermodel TV stars that you would see like on a CW show. So yes, Hector was intended to be the professor. Now, they also had a couple of other choices. Ricardo Montalban, or Montalban. Montalban. See, I told you I was going to butcher it. You know, the dude who played Khan in the original Star Trek, the original series, and in the movie Wrath of Khan, the man from Planet of the Apes, back like the older Planet of the Apes movie, Fantasy Island, that dude. And he's Mexican American. So you can clearly see they was going for a certain vibe when they was looking for the professor. I'm going to say his name wrong too. David Stirs. David Odin Stirs, the dude from MASH. And it's like you can clearly see they was going for that older look, which, you know, the professor was an older man, and they was also going with somebody with more of an accent or a certain vibe to him. With the first two people they wanted to cast, they were clearly going for more like a Hispanic vibe for the professor, which would have been a great addition, because that show had like no diversity whatsoever. Sadly though, the last two people they wanted to cast are no longer with us and have passed away. But I just think that would have been interesting. Like, could you imagine having the professor played by somebody other than John? Now the dude from MASH, yeah, he would have brought some anger, like to that fight in a really cool way. The other two, I just don't know. Like Khan, the dude who played Khan, like he was a bad guy on that show, but he had more like that Shakespearean vibe similar to John. So it's kind of like, but his was like way more regal and stuff. So I just don't know how that would have like vibed well with the show. But it is interesting to like see, if they were to ever do like a reboot, then they can go that vibe of casting, say, like a Hispanic actor or something. But if they ever do a reboot and they ever recast the professor, they need to have that distinction in their voice. They need to have like the otherworldly sound to their voice, and that's something John always brought. I remember like I actually first heard his voice before I ever saw the dude on TV. I first saw him, heard him in Gargoyles as Macbeth. He was in one episode of Batman the Animated Series, but he also played Hades in Justice League the Animated Series, and he played Aladdin's dad in the third Aladdin movie. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that little information because not a lot of people know that. That's the nice little New Year's information. I do have some more videos coming. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Bye.